Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Namine Namaste Saraswate Devi Gauravani Pratyane Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashyata Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gauri Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
जय ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय, गौर भक्त वृंद की जय. Thank you. I think we stopped somewhere here where Krishna is explaining that devotees don't make distinction between me and the living entities, and Daksha is super surprised. What? Do you mean to say everyone is supreme? And Krishna explains. Consider this, said Vishnu, the body has many limbs and organs with different functions, but nobody thinks there is a connection between these bodily parts. When any part of the body is ill, the whole body fights the disease. Similarly, everyone is a part and parcel of me, and as such, no one should be neglected. Wow, wow, wow. Like if we could have that attitude and vision, then we would be so respectful with everyone would be so respectful with us, and things would be Vaikuntha. And that's why it's not Vaikuntha, because we're not having that attitude yet. So in the beginning here, the moon had risen high in the sky. In its silvery rays, Maitreya could see that Vidura looked puzzled. He asked him to reveal his confusion. Okay, pause there. See, even great devotees, like whether it's Parikshit Maharaj or here it's Vidura, they are very humble and vulnerable. They don't have a problem to express their doubts. We could think, how could Vidura have a doubt? He knows everything. How could he look doubtful? That's the nature of a great devotee, that they don't hide their doubts. They're always open about the questions that they have, and they're always in the mood of inquiry. I remember when Srila Prabhupada used to give classes here in Mayapur, and my Guru Maharaj back then, he was busy doing so many chores, but he would sit in the class and he'll always ask some doubts, like some questions. And one day he was busy with something, and Srila Prabhupada is like, where is that boy? He wasn't initiated actually back then. Actually, it was not in Mayapur, sorry. It was back in America. So he would always ask questions, and Srila Prabhupada would ask one day when Jayaprakash Maharaj was not there. Jordan, his name was Gordon John, like that. And then where is John? He always asks questions. Where is he? Prabhupada was inquiring. So like that, there is this verse which is written by one of our Vaishnava saints saying, in front of Ajnanigala munde mana kalisayya, sugnanigala munde nanu yambuda bidisayya. It means in front of fools, we just nod our heads and say, okay, yeah, you're right. And we don't get engaged in conversations with them. We don't ask them doubts. We don't argue with them, because kichad mein kyun pattar dalna hai? Why should we throw a stone in a pile of, dirt? Why would we, right? Wet dirt. If we throw a stone, it will only splash on us. Whereas Signi jate sarasakinta gandhad jate guddata leso, which means instead of throwing stone at some cow dung, or dung of some animal, or better to go and fight with sandalwood paste. Or rather, when we are with devotees, it's okay to ask doubts. It's okay to look puzzled. Like right now, Vidura is looking puzzled, and Yudhishthir Maharaj looks puzzled in many instances, and especially in the 7th canto when Vritrasura is killed, Parikshit becomes very humble and asks, how is it possible that the Lord is appearing partial? And he's expressing his doubts, and it's explained how Parikshit Maharaj was so humble, such a great emperor, and he didn't think, I know everything. No, he didn't. He was like, I don't know this, and why is the Lord impartial? I really want to understand. He's humbling himself to such a great degree. And even if Parikshit Maharaj was doing it for the other assembled sages who were impersonalists, still it takes humility. Because usually the human mind is to show that I know, I'm better or something. But to go to that level of looking puzzled and revealing confusion, that's the essence of all the teachings. all the great personalities in Srimad Bhagavatam, in starting with even say Arjuna, he was vulnerable, and that's why Gita was revealed to him. Whereas the other devotees, it wasn't revealed because his intensity of confusion and vulnerability was channeled toward Krishna. And yeah, it's a very important point. We should always ask our doubts, and it's okay to have doubts. It's human and it's healthy. Okay, so anybody likes to continue? It's all yours. Rajeshwari Radhika Mataji, can you read?
Yeah, one more thing is there. I think in last page it is written that about body. If the body parts are not.
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
Can you explain me, Mataji, a little bit?
Sure. See,
the body is one of the other.
Yeah, sure. Krishna is saying how imagine Krishna's body, and then it's actually Virat Rupa, even you can even think of that, right? Then sun and moon are his eyes. You remember the Virat Rupa descriptions, right? So here the Lord is giving the same analogy of comparing his body to all the living entities. He's saying that there is a pinky finger, there is the toenails, there is the nerves, and there is the skin, and there is the eye and the ears and everything. He's saying each of that is like a living entity for him. And so they are all parts and parcels of him. That's what he's saying. He's actually saying that the connection between all living entities, they are all part of me. And they are all the limbs and organs are distinct from each other, but are all one body. Because see, the impersonalists, the Mayavadis, they say, right, everything is one. But Krishna is making clear distinctions here that no, they're distinct, means each of us have our own individual identity. That's why there are different rasas. There is Vatsalya, there is Sakya, there is conjugal rasa. There is so many rasas. It's not just one, everybody's same. At the same time, we are all parts and parcels of Krishna. And Daksha, although he was so highly placed in universal administration, he had not realized this fact. He couldn't see everybody is actually connected to the Lord. See, Krishna, we are all connected to the Lord on all the three levels: Brahman level, Paramatma level, and Paramatma level. Sorry, and Bhagwan level. So on the Brahman level, we are all in his energies. And Paramatma level, Krishna is seated in everyone's heart. Yantra Rudani Maya, Hridesha Arjuna Tishtati. He's seated in everyone's heart as a witness. How can we say he's not? And on top of that, Krishna is saying, we are all, every living entity is his part, just like the limbs and organs of a body. Although they are distinct from each other, but they are all one body. So this is very high level of Achintya Beda Abheda Tattva understanding, where it's not Mayavada philosophy. We are not gods, but still Prabhupada said we are all little Krishnas, little, because we are qualitatively one with Krishna. Quantitatively, we are insignificant, but qualitatively, we are one. Like there's an analogy Prabhupada speaks about fire and the spark, right? The spark of fire, when it falls on something, it can burn the whole village. One little spark. So the spark can be compared to us living entities, and Krishna is the main fire. So we are all parts and parcels of Krishna. And of course, one spark, how long can it last? When separated from the fire, cannot last. So this is important philosophical basis for our philosophy, because the Mayavadis say that we are all one, everything is one, Brahma Satyam Jagat Nityam. Everything is the Brahman understanding. Like everything is one. Animals and humans and everything is one. But here is like, yes, it's simultaneously one and different. Madhvacharya, his philosophy is Dvaita, means duality. We are Jivas and he's Paramatma. That's it. That's like eternal identification is separated. He's Paramatma and we are Jivas, and that's it. And Ramanujacharya says he's Vishishtadvaita. Vishishtadvaita means we are, it's little different than Dvaita. Dvaita is complete duality. Vishishtadvaita is, yeah, but duality, but still there is a connection to the Lord in a qualitative sense. And then Shankaracharya's philosophy is Advaita. Advaita means everything is one. Everybody, you are Krishna, I am Krishna, neighbor is Krishna, the dog is also Krishna, the ant is also Krishna. Everybody, Krishna means God. Everybody is God. Krishna is also just Brahman only. He just more in touch with the energy of Brahman. Therefore, he could do all the things he did as Krishna, but he's all same. We're all same. Such a nonsense. Anyway, that's one philosophy. There's Shankara's philosophy, which we don't subscribe to. But in Gaudiya Vaishnavism, it's the most updated, is the iPhone 108 version. It's Achintya Bheda Bheda Tattva. Simultaneously, we are one with Krishna, but we are also individual souls and different. Like that. So, basic foundation of our philosophy is understanding this. And Vishishtadvaita and Dvaita are also about considering ourselves servants of the Lord. But in the Achintya Bheda Bheda Tattva, it's very intimate way we can associate with the Lord, and this path is very esoteric. This path is meant for those who want to have a personal relationship with Krishna, not only in the mood of Aishwarya, not only in the mood of Dasya, because Madhvacharya is Hanuman. He's Hanuman himself. And Hanuman's rasa is what? Dasya. His eternal rasa is he's Dasa of Lord Ram. So Hanuma, Bhima, Madhva, they are the same personality. Hanuma appeared as Bhima and Bhima appeared as Madhvacharya. So when Madhvacharya comes as a Vaishnava Acharya in our Sampradaya, he propounds the philosophy of Dvaitavada, because that's very convenient and compatible and perfect and whole with the rasa of Dasya. With Dasya, you don't see, hey, Krishna, come sit with me on the bed, like Uddhava did or Arjuna did, right? That's a different rasa. In Dasya rasa, you will never do that. You'll never even imagine to do that. It's all Lakshmi Narayan, it's opulence, it's Vaikunta, it's Ayodhya. It's very much about, what do you call it? Honor, reverence, and there's another word I forget. It's all about reverence. It's all about official. Okay, like God in office. It's like God, Krishna, Vishnu in Vaikunta. So Dasya Rasa is like, in Vaikunta, everybody is servants of the Lord. The relationship in Vaikunta Loka, when Lakshmi and Narayana reside, everybody is serving the Lord. Where, like Lakshmi Devi is pressing the feet of Narayan, and all the gopis are engaged in serving him. Whereas in Goloka Vrindavan, the mood is very personal. There are Gopa boys playing with Krishna, and the Gopa boys are putting a flower in the mouth of Krishna, tricking him to think that it's a rasgulla, and all this kind of leelas, which is very exalted, is very high level. And only Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu could come and open those doors of access to those levels of rasa. So we are only, we are all like, imagine you have to go and meet the president. It all depends on who you know, right? Depending on who you know, they'll take you through that door. Somebody who is a finance minister or something can get you in through one door, but maybe somebody else who's a personal cook will get an appointment with them in the home. I'm just giving a random example here. So depending on who you know. So for us, who we know is our acharyas, is our parampara. So depending on which parampara we stick to, which queue, which line we stand in, we get the entrance of that particular rasa. In other words, we can't decide which rasa. It will depend very much on who we are connected to. So if we're connected to Madhvacharya, the Dvaita philosophy is the way. And I explained yesterday also that in the Madhva Sampradaya, there is the whole concept of Bhavi Samira, Bhavi Brahma, who's going to be the next Brahma, who's going to be the, Madhvacharya is going to become the next Brahma. He's still, by the way, he didn't leave his body, he's still alive. He's in the Himalayas listening to Vyasadeva. Vyasadeva is still instructing Madhvacharya in the Himalayas. They're still sitting now and discussing Bhagavatam. And eventually, the next Brahma is going to become Madhvacharya, is going to become the next Brahma. And then there is one Acharya called Vadiraja Tirtha in Sonda in Karnataka. There is one Vaishnavacharya. He came as one of our Parampara Acharyas as well. He, in Udupi, you must have heard about Udupi. In Udupi, there is the mathas established of mathas. So Madhvacharya established Ashtamathas, right? There are 8 mathas. Yeah. So Madhvacharya is the one who established these mathas and 8 mathas. And then when Vadiraja Tirtha came, he adjusted, like Madhvacharya had given only 1 month. Every matha will get 1 month to rule, serve the deities. But then when Vadiraja came, he said 1 month is too little. We should give responsibility for longer time. So then he made it 1 year, 2 years, I forget now. He made it longer because then they take responsibility to improve the temple complex. They'll do everything. So he changed it. And Madhvacharya had given instruction that Krishna can be dressed in any form, but not as Nrsingadev, and you shouldn't do anything with his eyes. That's why you won't see the eyes, and they won't do anything to the eyes. Eyes will be the same, and they will never dress him as Nrsinga. These were the 2 instructions given. So that person who made it into 1 year from 1 month after Madhvacharya, he's Vadiraja Tirtha, and he's going to become the next Samira. Samira means Vayu. Vayu, god of air, Vayu, and is very important because we are all connected to the Lord through our Vayu. For example, when we do pranayama, breathe in, and then when you hold that breath, that's our prana, that's our life air. And that's the moment when we hold our breath, the life air is close. I mean, this is like the explanation of yoga system, Patanjali system. In our Bhakti Yoga, it's slightly, it's wrong. Our philosophy is more about madness and emotion. But in the Ashtanga Yoga process, the closest moment the Jiva can feel with the Paramatma is when we hold our breath. When we hold that breath, the life air is closest to Paramatma. That's one of the sutras or like a theory in that. So, which all represents that life air, Vayu is very, very, very important. So, Vadiraja Tirtha is going to become the next Samira, the next, like we say, fiance, like that they say in Kannada, Bhavi Samira. Bhavi means to would be, like a would be husband, we say. No? Who is this person? Oh, is my would be husband. So, like that, would be the would be Vayu, the would be Brahma. They are all in that Madhva Sampradaya, in that lineage only. Those who go through those acharyas, those gurus, those great devotees who follow that lineage, they all become Samira, Brahmas and Vayus and all these people, Indra. They all, and there is also another acharya. He's Indra. He's going to be the next Indra. So they are all in that line. So what I'm saying is Madhva Sampradaya is authorized, but the path is different. The path is about getting into the administrative positions of the universe and serving the Lord in that way. But Gaudiya Vaishnavism, it's completely mood of Lord Chaitanya, mood of Srimati Radharani in separation from Krishna. So the whole sampradaya is established by Lord Chaitanya himself, personally, God himself. So we are in a completely different category. And we are so fortunate because we are allowed inside the intimate leelas of the Lord. It's not the official positions. And it's so fascinating.
It's all variety to complete the plate.
Yeah, exactly. That's a good analogy. So I don't know if I answered your question or I confused you more, but it is not.
Right. Okay.
No, there are many elements to the topic. Mataji, please continue.
Vidura said, some people argue that we are all good and bad. Matra said, is Vishnu saying this is true? Certainly not, replied Matra. Many philosophers only stress the unity between us and the Lord. The truth is that there is simultaneousness, oneness, and difference between Vishnu and the living being. By his analogy of the bodily parts, the Lord showed how we are his part and parcels. However, just as no part of the body equates to the whole, similarly, none of us are Vishnu's equal. The Lord's devotee must understand both aspects, diversity and unity, in order to attain spiritual perfection. Vidura closed his eye in thought. He was seeing Vishnu's connection to everyone, the only way to attain peace. Of course, if we can see how we are the Lord's energy moved by Him, then we have nothing to fear. God is all good and everyone's well wisher. Whatever is happening is under His benevolent control. If Daksha had this vision, he would not have envied Shiva for not standing up when he entered the assembly. He would have seen Daksha neglect as Vishnu's perfect arrangement meant for everyone's good. As these revelations dawned, Vidura smiled and asked the sage to continue his account. Maitreya said, enlightened by Vishnu, Prajapati Daksha recommended the ceremonies. He first offered the sacrificial item to Vishnu and then to Brahma and Shiva. He took special care to show Shiva all respect. When the ritual were completed and the gods, along with everyone else present, were satisfied, Daksha and the priest took their bath. Daksha felt elated. He had achieved perfection in his principles by religious principles by worshipping Vishnu. Nevertheless, he bowed humbly before the other gods, desiring their blessings. Pleased with him, they offered him benediction before departing. Vidura said, it is a shame that Sati did not live to see this wondrous change in her father. Do you know what happened to her? Maitreya said, I have heard from authoritative source that she was reborn as the daughter of the king of the Himalaya in the womb of his wife Menka. In that birth as Himavati, she again married Shiva. She is Krishna's material energy. As such, she has an external connection with Shiva, who is Krishna's representative in the material world. It means she seeks Shiva's shelter in the same way that Krishna's creative energy seeks his. This is a fascinating history, said Vidura. Who did you hear it from? My dear My dear Vidura, I heard the story of Daksha sacrifice and how it was devastated by Shiva from Uddhava. As you know well, as you well know, he is not only a great devotee but also a disciple of Brihaspati. He also told me that whoever hears and then narrates with faith and devotion this history of Vishnu's participation in Daksha sacrifice will certainly be purified of all material contaminations. Vidura lay
Right.
down Vidura laid down under the canopy of stars. Repeatedly, he gave thanks to Krishna for the good fortune of meeting Maitreya, who was delivering to him Krishna's sublime message. He drifted into a deep light sleep.
Right. Beautiful. We completed we completed Daksha's sacrifice chapters, and we are now in the next phase of Dhruva Maharaj going to the forest and a whole different section. Let's pause here and maybe share some thoughts about your realizations on these chapters on Daksha and the transformation of Daksha.
Like the points where it is mentioning about, it's very much connected to Krishna, how Sati is connected to Krishna as its internal energy,
Hey,
Krishna's material
good
energy.
point. Yeah, me too. I like that.
Yeah, and how Shiva is in a position, because sometimes when we become devotees, we are not considering other devatas, and
Right, right. True, true. I mean, see, I tell you one thing, why we don't, because when Prabhupada started the movement, he saw that there were all the hippies and there were all these people who didn't know any of the gods. And India, anybody born in India, they know all the 33 million demigods. I'm just saying, like, everybody knows Shiva and Brahma and Hanuman. But then it becomes a little bit, if somebody is very sincere, it becomes a little bit easier to explain to someone who comes from a background of knowing all these devatas and their names. And if you go to some Western person and just say Ganesha, who is the parents of Ganesha, they will be like, what? I don't know. I know Ganesha is some kind of a god in India, but I don't know who are his parents. But in India, everybody knows who are the parents of Ganesha. Everybody knows Shiva and Parvati. So Srila Prabhupada was trying to simplify the philosophy, and he didn't get too much into the demigods, because then once you get into it, it's like fascinating to know about Ganesh. It's fascinating to start worshipping Durga. No, you know how the India is completely drowning in that. And everybody gets distracted because all these demigods also have certain powers, and if you worship them, they are obliged to give you certain blessings. And then people will get into it. So Prabhupada kind of kept that the whole thing like, no, better don't go there. But the fact of the matter is, as we advance in Krishna consciousness, we know that whether it's Ganesh, whether it's Durga Devi, whether it's Mahadev, whether it's Brahma, these are all devotees these are all devotees. First of all, they are all devotees of Krishna. And when Mahaprabhu appears, they all are so eager to be part of the Leela. They come, no? Brahma comes as Haridas Thakur, and then everybody comes. Narada Muni comes as Srivasa Thakur. Everybody appears, and they're all eagerly waiting to participate in the Lord's pastimes. Even Ganesh, for example, he had a deal with Vyasadeva, right? Only Vyasadeva couldn't just get any scribe. Anybody will not work to write the Vedas, and no, it won't work. So then he said, oh, it has to be somebody who understands everything I'm saying. And Ganesh is also very smart. He says, you shouldn't stop. You should keep going like that. They both had that deal. So Ganesh is not an ordinary person. He's a great devotee. He's called Vigneshwara. He has Nashingadeva's lotus feet on his head. So, that's why he has the power to remove obstacles, and everybody worships Ganesh the first thing, because Nashingadev is very personal form, it's higher level. It's not everybody can approach Nashingadev without the parampara, like sampradaya of devotees who are Aradhakas of Nashingadev, who have gained the mercy. You can't get mercy of Nashingadev directly. And so people don't have access. So they worship Ganesh, because Ganesh is more like a deity of this world, that he can connect us. And Shiva, we all discussed, he'll definitely bring people to Krishna consciousness. He'll make devotees. Lord Shiva is the big Sankirtan devotee. He always makes devotees.
department heads.
True. And Durga Devi also, she's doing a thankless task of keeping the spiritual realm clean. She doesn't let, as soon as greed and anger, there is that Durga Suladi, ಗರ್ವಿಷ್ಠರಾದ ಅಸುರರೆಂಬ ಕತ್ತಲೆಯನ್ನು ನಾಶಗೈಸುವುದರಲ್ಲಿ ಪಟುವಾದ ಮುಕ್ತರಿಂದಲೂ ಪೂಜಿಸಲ್ಪಡುವ ಪಾದಗಳುಳ್ಳ ಹರಿಯಾಂಕ ಸಂಸ್ಥೆಯಾದ ದುರ್ಗಾದೇವಿಯು ಮನಸ್ಸಿನ ರೋಗವಾದ ಕಾಮಕ್ರೋಧಾದಿ ಲೋಭಗಳನ್ನು ದೂರ ಮಾಡಿ ಮಂಗಳ ರೂಪವಾದ ಮೋಕ್ಷವನ್ನು ಕೊಡುತ್ತಾಳೆ. So she's such a devotee of the Lord that she does a thankless task of somehow or another make us give up pride and anger and what all kama krodha, like lust and greed and anger. She makes us give it up through putting us in, casting a spell on us. materially. Like when we get attached to something material, we'll get frustrated at the end. That's her thankless task to do it. And she's a great devotee.
She's carrying that trident, na?
Yeah, she's carrying the trident. She's also called Durga because Durga means literally fort. She's the fort that keeps non-devotional qualities at bay. She's the protector because she can't let anybody come close to Krishna.
That trident is the like causing the three miseries: Adi Devik, Adi Bhautik, and Adi Adhyatmik. So she gave those miseries to come rid of these miseries and get closer to Krishna.
True. Either way, we're going close to Krishna. Whether we perform bhakti or we go after Maya Devi, we'll come to Krishna only. There's no other way.
Yeah, the sufferings are there. We have to purify.
Willingly or unwillingly.
Unwillingly, yeah, true.
Hare Krishna. I remember like in Assam, and because I'm from Assam, in Bengal side, in Assam and all, they perform Durga Puja so like in a very big way, right? And I remember being a child, I used to go to see these Durga Pujas, and like the what is it called, the Murti of the Durga will be like, she will have that nice dress and the trishul, and she will be sitting in the, I think it's a tiger she will be sitting on, and there will be always someone like a Asura whom, like, she's hitting through them with the trident. And I used to ask people, who is that Asura? I don't think many people knows that actually that person is us only, no? She is giving us that punishment with the three modes of material nature. And I think people don't know that that person is like representing the human beings who are in Maya. They think it's their person is some Asura, not us. After coming to Krishna consciousness only, I got to know that actually Durga Devi is punishing us only. I remember that. But many people, even though they worship Durga Mata, they don't know that what she is doing actually. They think that, they think that person is some Asura, some demon, not us. Like that. But she is giving us punishment only. We are only the person who is like under her trident. I just wanted to say that. I don't know whether it's my network or something. I can't hear anyone.
Can you hear me?
Yes, yes.
Thank you. Yeah, it's a very good point that under the trident is our own anathas. She's trying to get rid of our anathas only. And people think it's some, like usually when we ask protection, we are asking protection from some external enemies, right? But Vaishnava's philosophy reveals that, well, the worst enemy is your own mind, It's not somebody outside that is. And so Durga Devi is also taken up like Kama, Krodha, Lobha. These are under her trident. There is this Durga Suladi. It's amazing. It's a long prayer to Durga Devi as a devotee of Krishna. And it's very beautiful. Sometime I'll give a class on it. It'll be nice to meditate. Actually, the Madhva people and all the women, they study it because it is said that when women study that, they will get all the Shakti to perform devotional service without any obstacles. So a lot of people chant that. I know that by heart. I know that I memorized it as a younger person and memorizing it. It's very beautiful, actually. All right, Vaishnavis, thank you very much. Snehavati Kandavika, see you at 10 o'clock. And
10 o'clock?
maybe
Yes. It will be 10 o'clock today, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hari Bol. Wish you a very nice Krishna conscious day. Hari Bol.